let's talk about something that's incredibly serious and affects every single one of us in the workplace: sexual harassment. But what does that really look like today in 2024? And more importantly, what can we actually do to stop it? In this explainer, we're going to break down how to recognize it and how to build a workplace where it just can't survive. Let's dive right in.
First things first, let's get one thing straight. This isn't just about some abstract rules or a dusty policy handbook. Harassment has real, tangible consequences that can completely alter careers, companies, and people's lives.
So, what's with this number? 500 pounds. This was the actual compensation awarded in a recent sexual harassment case. And yeah, that's a stark reminder of the financial costs, but honestly, the true price of harassment, it goes way, way beyond any amount of money.
You know, the definition of what counts as harassment is constantly evolving. I mean, look at this. A 2024 court ruling found that even calling women birds can be legally considered sexual harassment. This just goes to show that language we might think is casual can have incredibly serious legal consequences.
So why is this so critical to get? Because harassment is never just a one-off incident between two people. Its impact spreads like a virus, affecting the entire culture of a workplace.
When harassment is ignored, it doesn't just magically disappear. It creates a toxic environment. It's like a poison that slowly seeps into everything, eroding trust and affecting every single person on the team, whether they were directly involved or not.
And here's that chain reaction in action. It starts with the victim, of course, but the damage just keeps spreading. Team morale plummets, productivity tanks, your best people start looking for the exit, and before you know it, the company's reputation is in the gutter and you're facing serious legal trouble. That's why preventing this stuff is so much more powerful than just reacting to it.
Okay, so we've covered the why, we get why this is so important. Now let's get down to the what. What exactly is harassment? Let's break down the definition and look at some very real, concrete examples.
The official definition really boils down to two core parts. First, the behavior has to be unwanted, that's key. And second, its effect has to be negative. It has to make someone feel intimidated, degraded, or humiliated. You need both of those things for it to legally be considered sexual harassment. You know, verbal harassment can be really sneaky. It's everything from unwanted comments on someone's looks to using patronizing words like darling or love. It can even be disguised as advice, like telling a female colleague she should smile more. There was even a case where a business owner faced a harassment claim just for trying to be one of the lads and telling dirty jokes with his staff. It backfired big time.
And of course, in our world today, the digital angle is huge. We're talking about sharing inappropriate photos, sending offensive memes, or even just having a dodgy screensaver on your work computer. All of that falls under this category. There was a big court case in Luxembourg where an employee was fired just for having pornographic images on his work computer. It's a crystal clear reminder that your digital workspace is still the workplace.
Now, when we talk about physical harassment, a lot of people think it's just about unwanted touching or grabbing, but it's so much more than that. It also includes things that don't involve any physical contact at all, like standing way too close, deliberately blocking someone's way, or just persistent staring. The bottom line is, invading someone's personal space is absolutely a form of harassment.
Okay, so we've clearly defined the problem. Now for the most important part, the solution. How do we actually actively prevent this from happening? Well, let's look at a really practical framework from the Equality and Human Rights Commission.
This framework lays out 8 essential steps for employers. It's a full-circle approach. It starts with the foundations, developing a solid policy and getting your staff involved. Then it moves into proactive work, assessing risks and creating clear ways for people to report issues. From there, it's about action. Proper training, handling complaints the right way, dealing with harassment from outside parties like clients, and, crucially, always monitoring and updating your procedures. It's a complete system.
So that's the framework on paper. But what does putting these steps into practice actually look like day to day? Let's get practical.
A strong policy can't just be some document buried in a file cabinet. No way. It has to be loud and clear that sexual harassment is illegal and that there is a zero-tolerance policy. It has to spell out the consequences all the way up to termination. And it needs to give specific examples so there's no confusion. But maybe most importantly, it has to map out the entire complaint process so people know exactly what to do and what to expect.
A huge part of prevention is being proactive, not just waiting for something bad to happen. Employers should be asking themselves some tough questions. Where are the power imbalances in our company? Do we have a lack of diversity? Do we have people working alone or late at night?
Is alcohol a regular feature at our company events? Answering these questions honestly is how you spot risks before they turn into incidents.
Now, this is absolutely critical. If a complaint is made, the response is everything. You have to act immediately, no delays. Confidentiality has to be protected for everyone involved, and there must be zero tolerance for any kind of retaliation against the person who spoke up. The goal is to create a process where people feel safe, heard, and trust that their concerns will be taken seriously.
All of these steps, all these procedures, they're really important, but they're all pointing to something much, much bigger. This isn't just about following the law. It's about building a genuine culture of trust.
And this slide just nails the difference. On one side, you have compliance. That's reactive. It's about ticking boxes, having a policy in a file, and just trying to avoid getting sued. But on the other side, you have culture, and that's proactive. It's about encouraging people to speak up, building a truly safe environment, and focusing on real accountability. It's a world of difference.
So, in the end, it all comes down to this one question. You have to ask yourself, is my workplace just ticking a box, or are we actively building a true culture of trust? The answer to that question determines everything. Because remember, this isn't about rules and regulations. It's about people.